Hi everyone, welcome back to the Bioinformatics School channel. In today's video, I am going to show you how you can install the tool SPAdes in a Linux environment. SPAdes is a Genome Assembly toolkit that contains various assembly pipelines. And if you want to read more about this tool, make sure to check the developer's GitHub page. I will leave the link in the description box for you. So let's proceed. Now with SPAdes, there are a number of approaches you can use to install it. You can use Anaconda, which I have already covered. You can also build from source, or you can use the binaries. For this tutorial, we are going to set up using the binaries. So let's go. I am on the GitHub page. Make sure you are also there. The link to this page is in the description box. So on this page, you can just scroll down. Now let's just go up. You have this manual here, and you can check the installation instructions. So here you can just go to download SPAdes Linux binaries. Let's just go there and you will get the instructions. So we have one for Linux binaries. So there's it. You just download, you just extract, and you can start running. But we will do some setup here as well. So let's proceed. So to download on this page, just scroll up, just go to the right side here, and you will see releases. We are going to use the latest release, which is SPAdes 3.15.5. But if you want to see all the releases, you can just click here. But let's use the latest here. So at the time of making this video, this was the latest. So I'll just click it. And then you'll be sent to this page. So here you have the binaries. I will use this one here. This is it. So what I'll do is to get the download link because I will download the terminal. But if you want to use your browser to download, just click it and then you'll be asked to save it. So that's how it is. But I will use the terminal. So I'll just right click and then I'll just copy the link. So I am ready. So I'll move to the terminal to download it. So join me over there. Okay, so on the terminal, I will first cd to my home directory. So I'll say cd. Perfect. I will then download the tarball. So I'll use wget. So I'll say wget and then I'll supply it with a download link like this. And then I'll execute this command. So this will download the SPAdes binaries for us. Everything has been compressed, so we have a single file. So let's just check it out. Let's do an ls. And you see the file there. So this is what we are going to use. Now, let me say that this approach we are using is useful for those who don't have root access or who don't have admin accounts on their respective Linux platforms. And most of the time, you may be working on a remote server or you may be working on a Linux system where your account is another account. So if you have another account, then there are restrictions as to where you can store files. So this approach will help you to set it up using your home directory. So let's proceed. What we are going to do next is to extract the content of this tarball. So I will say tar x vnfz and then I will specify the file name and then I will execute this command. So make sure you do same. Okay, so everything has been done. Let's check it out. Let's do an ls and you will see a directory here. So this is where the binaries are located. So let's do an ls into it. So let's say ls and then we specify the directory name. So we have it here. So let's check. So we have bin and then share. So we will focus on the bin. This is where the binaries are. So I'll issue the command again and this time say /bin. So I'll get my binaries and then other files here. So this is what we will execute to test. I made mention that SPAdes is a toolkit that contains various assembly pipelines. So there are others as well. You can use SPAdes on Illumina reads. You can use it to assemble reads that have been generated from PacBio, and also you can use it on meta genomic data as well. So I mean there are lots of things you can do, but these are things we will cover in later tutorial. You can also check the manual and then you get all the information you need there. So let's proceed. Now with the current setup, if you want to run SPAdes, you need to call the spades.py using the absolute path. So let's just check. Let's just check again. Let's do an ls just to make sure we are all on the same level. So we are going to call spades.py. So I'll specify this. So I'll specify the directory. I'll say /bin and I'll say spades.py like this. This is just a test run. Perfect. So it has been done for. So everything is okay now. Let's proceed. Okay, so let's do an ls again. Let's just check again. So I'll repeat the same command, but this time I'll specify the version. Let me just check again. Okay, yeah, so this is the version. Perfect. Now with the current setup, whenever we want to run spades, we need to use the absolute path. So if we are going by this current setup, it may be problematic, especially for beginners, because when you're on a Linux system, it's likely you'll be working in different areas. You'll be moving from one direction to the other. So the absolute path is what you need to be able to call spade. But we can make things easier. We can just set up our system so that when we say spades.py, we will get it running fast. But at the moment, if you do it this way, you have this issue. You have this error coming up, command not found. So what we are going to do is to set up our system so that we can just call spades using just this file name here. So let's proceed. So to do that, we will also organize our files. That is what I always advise people to do. So let's create another directory called apps in our home directory, and then we will place spades in there. So I'll say make the apps. And then I'm going to move this into that directory. But let's do an ls first to check the directory. So this is the directory. So I'll move this to this directory. Okay. You can also rename it as, let's just maintain this. So I'll just say mv-v, I'll say spades. Yeah, I'll call that directory and I'll say apps. So this will move everything here. That's what I'm going to do. Again, if you're an advanced Linux user, you can still rename the directory, but because I may be dealing with beginners as well, I will just leave it as it is. So I'll just do it this way. Okay, so it has been moved. Perfect. So now let's ls into apps and you see it there. So again, we need to specify the full path if you want to get access to the spades.py file. So let's do an ls apps. It's located in bin. So we have it here as well. So perfect. So that's what we have. Now let's proceed. We are now going to get the absolute path of the spades binaries. I will show you two approaches here. Let's look at the first approach. For the first approach, we will use the rel path command. So we say rel path, it's lower caps. Rel path, we say apps/spades linux/bin. This will give us the absolute path. This path is what we need. If this command does not work for you, then try this other command. cd apps/spades linux/bin. And then issue this command pwd. This will also give you the absolute path. Okay, so this is the directory that has the binaries, or the directory that contains the spades binaries. So this is what we need. We will now add this directory to the path variable, the environmental variable, which is called path. So to do that, we say export path equals $path. We bring a colon and we add the path of the binaries, which is this one here, and then we execute this command. So now we can just call spades.py and then the command will be executed successfully. So let's do this. Perfect. That has been done nicely for us. Let's continue. Let's cd to our home directory, and then let's call it again spades.py. Perfect. So with this export command, once we set it up, irrespective of where you are on the system, you can just call spades.py. Just use a file name. That is all. Let's proceed. Now with the current setup we can use spades.py like this, alright. But then if you open a new terminal, you will not be able to do that. This is because the export command we used here will only work in this particular session. Let's just proceed. Let me show you what I mean. Let's open a new terminal. We have opened a new terminal, so if I say spades.py, this is what will happen. Okay, it's because that export command was executed just on that terminal. And so what we want to do is to make the change permanent. This one here, this export command. We want to set our system up so that whenever we open a terminal, this command will be executed automatically, so that we can just call spades.py by the file or by the names of the binaries. Okay, so let's just copy this command. We'll use it again. Yeah. So to make this change permanent, we will need to add this command to the .bashrc file. And so what we need to do is to cd to our home directory. We are seeing again, just in case you are not in the home directory, just make sure you cd there. And so to edit the .bashrc file, we need to first open it with a text editor. You can use nano or vi or any text editor, and then just put the export command there. So let's proceed. Now, before we edit the .bashrc file, it's advisable you make a copy of it. It's a backup. So I'll say cp.bashrc, and I'll say bashrc.back. It's just a copy. Make sure you are in your home directory. If you are not in the home directory, make sure you use the cd command to go to your home directory. Now that we have made the backup, we are now going to edit the .bashrc file. I'll use nano, but you can use any text editor as well. So I'll say nano.bashrc, and then I'll move to an empty space, and then I'll paste the command there. Okay, so this is what we need. I'm now going to save the changes. I'll exit and save the changes. So if you're using a nano command, you just say Ctrl X, type Y, and then save the changes. Perfect. So now let's open a new terminal. Okay, now I have opened a new terminal, so I can just say spades.py, and then the command will be executed successfully for me. So we have now made a change permanent. Okay. Now you can also test Spades. Spades comes with an example data set you can use to perform Genome Assembly. So let's try that. So we can say spades.py --tests, and then this will perform a Genome Assembly. So let's do that. Okay, people, we have been able to perform our first Genome Assembly. And so if everything is done correctly and is successful, then you have the statements here being shown. Now, this is just a warning. Okay, it's just asking you that if you want to perform the assembly, use this option. But so far, everything is okay. You may see this warning, but if you see it, just read the manual. Okay, when you read the Spades manual, you know how to use the right commands for your assembly. So that's how we do it. You can also check the log file here. So if you, let's just clear the screen. If you just do an ls, you will see a new directory here which has the context. Okay, because we performed the genome assembly, so definitely there's going to be an output, so it has been stored here. So you can just ls into it, and then you see the files there. So we have context.fasta, and then we also have scaffold.fasta. But just read the SPAdes manual and then you look at which one to use. Now that we have performed our genome assembly, everything is okay. So we need to do some cleanup. So you will remove this file here, which is the tarball, the one we downloaded. We have already extracted the content, but if you want to keep it, fine. But if you want to save space, you can remove it. We are also going to remove the backup file here, this partial c.backup, because we don't need it. We can also keep it anyway, but I'll remove it. So I'll remove them. I'll start with this one. So I'll say rm-i-rc.back. Please take note that in Linux, if you use the rm command, everything that is removed is irrecoverable. You can't recover them back. This command here, you should be careful. And that is why I'm adding -i, so that I'll get another prompt. Okay, and then I'll finally confirm. So I'll do that, and then I'll say y4, yes, and then I'll remove that file. So now if I do an ls, it's no longer there. Okay, the file is no longer there. I'll do the same to remove this one. So I'll say rm-i SPAdes linux.tar.gz, and I'll remove it. Perfect. So now I am done. Everything is set up. So you can proceed with your genome assembly. Now if you want to learn how to perform genome assembly using SPAdes, then you can just check the videos that have been displayed now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next session. Goodbye.